Well, you had a concept in the book. You called it easy, light, smooth, and on fast days fast. And I just remember I was training for my first marathon. And of course, I was buying all the running magazines back then. There wasn't the internet at that point. And so I'm buying all these magazines that I can get and subscribing to a lot of them. And I get them in and they're like, okay, here's the 10 best shoes for the season. And, then I'm like, okay, crap. I go reading all these things. I get more confused about the shoe that I should have because they're saying, well, if you pronate, if you supinate, if you do this, if you do that, if you're heavy, if you're a heel striker, and I'm like, holy crap. So I end up going to a running store, and the dude brings me out there and he says, okay, I want you to run down to that sign and then run back. And he watches me and he says, okay, he says, you pronate a little bit. So you need some stability with cushion. And then he goes and he measures my foot and he sells me at the time a $70 shoe, which was the most I'd ever spent on a piece of clothing in my life. Um, it didn't make me run any faster. It did, maybe it did actually protect my feet and my ankles and my knees a little bit, but in the end game, it didn't change me. It didn't change my running. But this easy, smooth, light, and on fast days fast, it sounds simple, but how do we actually do that?
There's a lot to unpack there, Eric. I want to
Yeah.
there's that gait analysis, there's the shoe, there's the easy, like smooth and fast. You start off, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll piggyback off your story of, when we met, one of Chris's hurdles was he was not able to run slow easily. And what that meant was that every time he went out for a run, it was uncomfortable for him to run easily, which it would be maybe considered your nice, easy run that we do most of the time. Therefore, since it was uncomfortable for him, it was more comfortable for him to speed up a little bit, which caused him to fall into all the mistakes he was making with his run form that caused the breakdown in his body. So we had to work on both ends of the extreme. We had to teach him how to run easily well with form and good technique. But then on the other end, we had to also use some very fast running to build his structural system so to eliminate the breakdown. So we worked on both ends of this extreme to help him create essentially more efficiency with his running, which is kind of the holy grail.
The thing about it, Alan, too, is that when people address running problems, they're constantly giving you things to do that are not actually running. So if you have aches or pains or injuries, people tell you, well, buy the other shoes or do yoga or ride a bike or go to the gym or strengthen your quads. No one ever actually looks at the behavior that is causing the problem. And to this day, it to me boggles my mind that the running media press always says the same thing. You run the way you run. No two people run the same. You run with your own natural form. Like, what in the ever-loving crap is this? If you dive off a diving board and you belly flop, people don't go, hey, you know what? You dive the way you dive. If you go out with a basketball court with Steph Curry, he's not just chucking a ball in the air. Hey, Steph, you just shoot the way you shoot. No way, man. Your form is dialed in. The behavior dictates the outcome. And so again, if Steph Curry's shot is off, no one goes, hey, you know what, Steph, maybe you should go to your basketball outfitting store and get yourself fitted for a nice sleeve because you're supinating on your follow-through. No, you work on the form. And this, to me, again, it was a major revelation that Eric brought to me. And it corresponded to what I had seen in the Copper Canyon. Our superhero origin story between me and Eric is that I had gone down to the Copper Canyon. I had spent time with the Tarahumara. I watched them run, but I didn't know what I was seeing. Eric knew about the Tarahumara, but he hadn't seen them. So when he and I first met, and I'm like, I'm seeing these guys. Dude's like 75, and he's rocking up a mountain in a pair of sandals. And everybody's kind of running the same way. And so I was able to take my observations to Eric, and he was able to analyze them and feed them back to me, saying the reason why they're running at 75 is because they're all running the same way.